What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Duel School, where of course we are going to be looking at some of the latest figures in the game right now. And can you believe it? SOLGALEO is finally here, as well as Cosmog. This is crazy. Let's get into it. We have another Tapu as well. The Island Guardians are coming out of the woodworks right now from Alola, so let's go. Let's see here. The Messenger of the Sun is here. Nullify markers from the attacks of your opponent. So let's get into what that kind of cryptic saying is exactly. So it's Psychic Steel, as some of you may know from playing through Sun and Moon, or actually I guess I should say just Sun. But anyway, it has its ability Full Metal Body, which says that the battle opponent of this Pokemon cannot move by effects other than the attacks of this Pokemon until the end of battle. So right off the bat, you're going to be able to lock down your opponent's Pokemon. Kind of interesting. If this Pokemon is not affected by a special condition, markers from the attacks of the battle opponent cannot be attached to this Pokemon. So anything from like the mystical birds or mythical birds, I suppose, that you're not going to be able to put like charge counter or charge markers on you, for example, so on and so forth. So something cool to keep in mind as well. Curse markers cannot be placed on SOLGALEO either, so you don't really have to worry about this guy going out anytime soon, at least, or not too easily anyway. Kind of interesting. It goes very well with the lore of Sun and Moon. No spoilers, but it does have an evolution, so that way if you want to power up SOLGALEO, its Sun Steel Strike could do up to 120 base damage, so long as you are evolving it from Cosmog further on. Anyway, it does 100 damage and then moves the battle opponent to its PC. The battle opponent is not knocked out. So interesting that it moves it to the PC, but it's not exactly considered a knockout. Let me know what you guys think about that. Personally, that is very interesting in my mind. Flare Blitz is cool. 120 damage, very solid. If this Pokemon is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes burned. So cool. Not easy to knock out a 120 damage kind of guy, but if you do, if it does get knocked out, at least your opponent deals with a burn. But again, if you're leveling up all the way from Cosmog, that's an easy 140. Super strong damage right there. Not bad at all. But that's SOLGALEO. He's kind of straightforward in my opinion, but again, let me know what you guys think about him, where you would like to evolve or level up its attacks more so. I believe it has a miss size of 16 total. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting to think about. What you would prefer to level up, Sunsteel Strike or Flare Blitz? Let me know what you guys personally prefer. I am very interested to know. Tapu Lele, a guardian deity of Akala. Let's go. So Tapu Lele is pretty sweet in my opinion. Psychic Surge, similar to Tapu Koko. This ability is only valid on your turn, and this Pokemon can MP move past non-fairy type Pokemon on the field. When this Pokemon is on the field, your Psychic type Pokemon gain 1 purple star, and this effect is not cumulative, so it doesn't help if you have multiple Tapu Lele in that regard. Let's see, the gold attacks of Pokemon within 2 steps of this Pokemon become white attacks. So pretty cool. It could help out your own Pokemon, say if it's a bad matchup, but I mean, gold is never really bad essentially. So it's really just something against your opponent, so to speak. So if you have a whole team of purple attackers, like such as Tapu Lele, then you don't have to worry about Tapu Lele getting knocked out quite as easily. Let's move on here. It has a total miss size of 12, which is not too bad. If you level it up all the way to 10, it's going to be pretty darn strong. And then Psyshock is where it's kind of at here. So Psyshock, 2-star purple at the base. And then if the battle opponent is affected by a special condition or has weight, the battle opponent is knocked out. The battle opponent gains weight 3. So not only are you knocking it out, but now it has to do weight 3, which is just really messed up. On top of that, with Psychic Surge on your own turns, Psyshock actually goes up to a 3-star purple, which is, again, giving you great priority. With Psychic Surge on your turn, you could go up against gold attackers on your opponent's team and not be risking quite as much. Moonblast is 99 damage, which is also really great, considering that it can knock out Mew without having to worry about it just being able to get past it. Mew is really good about surviving damage of 100 and up. So with 99, you're still able to take on Mew, and on top of that, you're negating its gold attack, which is really cool. A non-gold Hypersonic is not really much at all after that. So it's a hard Mew counter for sure. As if Tapu Koko kind of wasn't enough of one already, Tapu Lele just capitalizes on weakening Mew even more so, which is kind of sad. I'm a Mew player. I'm sure plenty of other people are as well online that I've noticed. But I mean, Pretty strong strategy, though, I gotta say. Tapu Lele is probably the top Pokemon I want to pull from this set, but let's move on. Call a Wish is that you may exclude this Pokemon from the duel. If you do, your used plates all return to their unused state, so you pretty much get a free recycle, essentially. So, I don't know if you would really want to do this, but if it works out in your favor, if you need that extra hurdle jump, or you need that extra goal block, what have you, you can now use this with a Call a Wish. So something to keep in mind. Melee Wish, I've seen being used effectively a couple times, so I wonder if a Call a Wish will come in clutch as well. Anyway, let's move on to Cosmog. It is Psychic type with its ability Gaseous Form. Some of you are probably familiar with this ability already, but let's move through it. For those of you that are unaware, this Pokemon cannot surround the opponent's Pokemon, and it cannot be surrounded itself, which is helpful. It can also move through other Pokemon when moving an MP move. So cool. It has kind of like a Ghost type ability without having to be Ghost type. Anyway, let's move on. Its miss size is only 4, so once you get this thing up to level 5, you are perfectly fine. Nebby's Power, 1-star purple, and you may move one of your Solgaleo or Lunala next to this Pokemon. If you do, this Pokemon evolves. If it cannot evolve, this Pokemon is knocked out, so make sure that you are always able to evolve it into Cosmo M for sure. One little neat little thing here as well, it shows Solgaleo, but since Lunala is not yet here, it is question marked for now. Probably to be seen in the next set, I'd imagine. Let's see, Dodge is 16, pretty decent. Teleport is 3-star purple. This Pokemon moves 2 steps away. So, and I've seen this being used by a gentleman by the name of Pokefodder. If you guys do not have him subscribed on YouTube, or if you're not subscribed to him on YouTube, be sure to look him up. He's a really good strategist. I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you're probably very familiar with him. But if not, definitely a good strategist. I'd recommend you checking him out. A Splash is only 1 damage, which is cool, I guess. Don't know if you really want to chain level that much, but who knows? You might want to. Yeah, but this guy is not really meant for Splash. It's meant for doing Nebby's Power. It's meant for teleporting. And let me know what you guys would prefer to level up. Is it Nebby's Power? Is it Teleport? One nice thing about Nebby's Power is that if you do have Tapu Lele on your team, it obviously will become a 2-star purple attack thanks to Psychic Surge, I believe it's called, for Tapu Lele. And then on top of that, Teleport becomes a 4-star purple, which is insane. So you get automatic evolution with Nebby's Power, not bad at all. Let's move on to Cosmo M, the bigger version of Cosmog for sure. So it has the ability Black Core. This Pokemon cannot be surrounded by your opponent's Pokemon. If this Pokemon surrounds an opponent's Pokemon, this Pokemon may evolve. While this Pokemon is on the field, effects of energy plates are negated. Essentially, you don't really want to run energy in your own deck, but it will take out tropical energy if you want. It will take out really anything. A scary combo that could come of this, I mean, I don't know if it's really the best way to build a deck, but this is just an option to throw out there. If you were to run Tapu Lele, you're giving all of your Deoxys on your team an extra purple star. If you have Cosmo M on your team, your Pokemon can't run Tropical Energy to counter your Deoxys team. It's just kind of insane. And on top of that, with Black Core as Cosmo M's ability, all you have to do is surround once, which is not hard to do, and then you get a free Solgaleo or Lunala out of it. So really insane. Let's move on to some of its attacks as well. Again, a miss size of only 4 that can be easily taken care of once it reaches level 5. A Splash is only 10 damage. Cosmic Power, but again, I mean, you could chain level higher to counter Shuppet and stuff like that. Cosmic Power, blue attack, interesting. While this Pokemon is on the field, this Pokemon gains +1 star. This effect is not cumulative. Right off the bat, you can do a 4-star teleport, giving yourself even more priority. If you have Tapu Lele on the field, it becomes a 5-star purple, even further priority. So, kind of insane. I feel like Teleport may be the one to level up, but maybe Cosmic Power as well, just to make sure you can get Teleport up to a 5-star purple. I'm not sure, but let me know what you guys think. Where is Cosmo M's strength the most? Because, wow, again, I saw some really lucky spins from Pokefodder on Twitter recently. I recommend you follow him on Twitter as well. I'm not a big fanboy of his or anything, but I do appreciate some of the plays he is able to pull off. Really skilled player, for sure. Anyway, we have Espeon to complete the evolution collection of this game so far. Maybe, hopefully, Gen 8, if not Gen 7, will show us new evolutions. Perhaps Ultra Sun and Moon will give us a new one. If not, though, at least we have the collection so far. And Espeon is actually pretty cool, I gotta say. A decent sized dodge as per usual with evolutions with a size of 20. That's pretty darn good. Behavioral prediction. This Pokemon gains +1 purple star. So they're really trying to give like psychic type Pokemon and the like as much priority as possible, and it's not that hard to do. Tapu Lele, Cosmoem, Espeon, you're getting all the priority right here. And on top of that, again, as long as you're keeping Pokemon near Tapu Lele, then their gold attacks will not be able to knock out your purple. So pretty dang awesome. Anyway, let's move on to Magic Coat, which is really cool, which obviously, again, it is automatically a 4-star purple. With Tapu Lele, it becomes a 5-star purple. So that's insane. Magic Coat, if the battle opponent uses an attack that attaches a marker or causes a special condition, that effect will be caused on the battle opponent instead. So, really, really cool. It's like Solgaleo. It's like negating markers altogether, but even more effectively, I think, in my opinion, being able that, it's not that you get the special condition, but they do. And on top of that, they probably just will waste their spin if they spin like a marker attack. They just won't even use it on you, which is crazy. So, see if you're going up against a Bannet, that curse marker is now on them, they're done. Psybeam is 40. If the battle opponent is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes confused. Really darn decent in my opinion. Espeon is crazy. This makes me want to build a Psychic deck. I'm sure plenty of you do as well. If you have already, let me know what consists of your team, what kind of plates you're running, because this is really strong stuff. It makes me want to dedicate a little more money towards this Extra Gems event to be able to afford a really fun deck, or at least have luck towards getting a decent deck. Igglybuff is pretty straightforward, but let's get into it really quick now that we have the full Igglybuff evolutionary line. Normal and Fairy, of course, and then ability is Balloon Body. If a Pokemon finishes an MP move next to this Pokemon moves one space away. So if you're being really offensive with Igglybuff, you are able to maybe perhaps take up an entry point of your opponents, or maybe slide right into their goal. Who knows? But Balloon Body can be made, I guess, effective perhaps. If you guys have ever gotten any good plays yet off Balloon Body, let me know. I think it's kind of neat. It could put you in a bad situation, obviously, just because you're not in control of where Igglybuff goes completely. I mean, just because if anyone lands near Igglybuff, hopefully you can promote it and get it as far as you want to. But if not, I mean, it could get surrounded easily. I'll put it that way. Anyway, Oricorio. This is another neat Oricorio here, the Pau style. A Psychic Flying ability is Pau. When this Pokemon is on the field, your Psychic type Pokemon deal +1 damage for each Psychic type Pokemon on the field. So again, you're dealing up to a max of 6 extra damage per attack. Another great cheerleader to have, another great supporter Pokemon to have, if you will, on your team at all times. Really, really sick. It has Air Cutter 50, nothing special, but it's not meant to be an attacker. Alluring Dance is 2-star purple, but again, obviously, we've seen that you can get it up to 3 stars, if not even higher, potentially speaking. But yeah, with Tapu Lele, that's an easy 3-star purple. The battle opponent and opposing Pokemon adjacent to it become confused. Pretty cool. Let's see, Roost, obviously you know this Pokemon recovers from all status effects. In exchange, it must then wait 3. So long as it's in the back row of like your field, you don't really have to worry about wait 3 too much, hopefully anyway. But at least it's healed from status effects. It gets to survive longer, potentially speaking. Alluring Dance is pretty good though. I mean, all opposing adjacent Pokemon, including the battle opponent, are confused. Not bad, but really what you want Oricorio Pau style for, obviously, is to promote the strength of your Psychic Pokemon. Again, these are some more Pokemon that have returned. Mewtwo got a decent buff as well. Let's take a quick look at that if you'd like. The battle opponent is knocked back as far as possible in a straight line. Any Pokemon it collides with are also knocked back. All affected Pokemon gain weight. Annihilate, this Pokemon moves 2 steps away, which I believe is where a big buff came from, because before I believe it had to go back to your bench, when instead now it's just knocked back 2 steps away just to further keep up your defense or offense if you need. Speaking of offense though, Mewtwo did gain some more offensive power with Psycho Cut, doing 70 plus 50 damage if Psycho Cut lands again. So really, really cool. You can annihilate its miss as well, if you will, to make sure that it has like a miss. By level 10, does that mean it has like miss size 1? or is it miss size 0 at that point? Something to keep in mind, but still Mewtwo is a bigger threat than ever before, which is cool though, because again, Mewtwo is like obviously one of the strongest Pokemon in the Pokemon universe, so for it to have been as weak as it was beforehand was kind of strange, so I'm glad that it has a stronger presence now. Same with Gardevoir as well. Let's see here, Ghost Sensor, again, as you may know, I should say, Ghost-type Pokemon cannot pass through this Pokemon using the effect of an ability. So, really cool. Warpole does the same as usual, but Super Psy now does 100 damage. I believe it did only about 60 damage before, and that's not, like, that's if you just had Gardevoir base damage without evolving into it. Into her, actually. But again, it still does that. If this Pokemon is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes confused. But doing 100 damage, it's a little harder to knock this guy out now, which is great. It's sad that it's not as hard of a Mew counter anymore, since now it's hitting for 100 damage. That means you can't knock out Mew if it lands on Hypersonic, but still, something cool to consider. Metagross is also stronger, for sure. Metaclaw is now doing 100 damage. I think before it was doing about 70. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, those are some of the new Pokemon in the game right now. Be on the lookout because soon we will be opening up boosters. We have a brand new 10-pack selection as well as this quadruple booster pack as well. So again, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Please click that like button. It actually does help out a lot. And if you guys have friends that play Pokemon Duel as well, show them this video. Let's share some strategies. Let me know in the comment section. Let's be polite and constructive as far as what you guys would like to see in the future of this show as well. Share what kind of decks you guys are running, what Pokemon figures in particular that are new that you are excited about, and what kind of decks you want to build now that consist of all new Pokemon, or do they consist of new and old in a fun combination? I am interested to know. Let's share some strategies down below. Have a good one, guys, and later!